Jake has and I, Sam, are
We're back.
shoutcasting. So super exciting. I think we have the winning team of no. We have the winning team of the other side of the bracket or whatever. We have a winning team and a losing team here, and we'll see if they can come out 1-1 or if it's gonna, water and oil is gonna separate and we're gonna have a 2-0 and an 0-2. So this is exciting. We're seeing Malzahar, Tristana ban, and Skarner so far. What bands are you expecting? Any big bands?
If any of El Clarkenator, the Blessed Playboy, which is red side, if they have played against blue side, any of their members, I'm gonna say a Mundus ban would be high, or a Camille ban would be high priority because Mundus on Camille is pretty nasty.
I will
Um,
also say Emperor Louis play Zyra support. Also a
mhm,
scary thing if you
right,
don't know how to deal
right.
with it.
My genius will be understood.
That's the strongest targeted bans I can think of
Oh,
for this
there's
game.
the
But
Camille.
Mundus picks up the Camille.
Oh,
He
no,
got him.
no delay on that pickup either. Super
The
super
insta
exciting.
pick.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. The stream live? Yeah, the stream's going. All right. So we see a Jarvan picked up. This is not. They did play Jarvan last time, didn't they?
They did have Jarvan last game. I'm curious if the build will change this time, or if he's going to go the same build, or if they're just taking him top. It'll be interesting to see how they use him.
Or
But
Assassin Jarvan might
Leona
work this game too.
is pretty combo.
Yeah, Jarvan Leona is pretty deadly. You have that alt, especially if it's a tank Jarvan where you're just alting as many people as you can. Leona alting on top of that. I would love to see some AoE maybe to double up on that by red team. That'd be really
Yeah,
cool. Maybe like
they
a
have the
Lux
start of
again
a
or
they
something.
have the start of a really nice wombo combo on the red side. So see how it plays out in the rest of the
All
draft.
right, right here, red team in the second ban phase need to ban out Zach. And
I
yeah,
would say
Zach.
Zach and also Malphite because they're putting together quite a knockup team
We
for
did. Yeah, we
for that
saw.
Yasuo.
I caught the end of the last game that the red team was playing, or blue team was playing. They had a Yasuo, Zach, and Galio combo. Galio is not going to be in this game unless Camille's going to go somewhere else.
Oh, so
But
painful.
oh, Vayne is going to be tough. Short range against some scary people coming up that's going to be jumping onto her. Oh, please ban that. You got to ban that Zach. Zach Yasuo is so scary. Oh boy, I don't think they're ready for it. Yeah, I wish they should. I think red team should have banned Zach Zyra.
Yeah, Zach would be pretty nuts. Their jungle.
So let's see. We have a support ban, probably support and top lane, huh? Unless that Jarvan is top lane, we don't know yet. Ban the Zach. Do it. Ban the Zach. Nope. That's not bad either. But that's a lot of damage.
We'll see if they can pull in if they pull in Zach for this for blue team.
I mean,
That
Zach
would
is
be
such a good pick.
pretty nice pick. Really strong, but also kind of a weird play style. And I have not seen I've not seen much Zach play by anyone on blue. So maybe red
Oh,
side.
Papa Gamer plays Zach.
Oh
He
really?
played the
Okay.
last game.
I haven't seen him play.
That's what I was saying.
I was thinking Aries Spirit was similar, and I haven't seen him Zach.
Yeah, and the Zach Yasuo combo is just really easy to work with, and
Yeah.
Sejuani pick. So that is going to be a Jarvan top. We have seen that from Clarken. Clarken feels like he might need to put the carry pants on. We see the Zach pick coming
And
out.
as
Yep.
as you said, good call on the Zach.
And then Zyra.
This could be
Zyra to round out the AP damage. Here it comes. Why change it up when you won with the last game? Although I think they were playing their 80 carry, which I think dropped out actually. So they're playing with now a sub 80 carry. Was playing Tristana last game, but
Calista can't really throw a Zyra.
ooh, oh my goodness, this is gonna be very tough. Ooh, I like the brand pick though.
Brand in the mid lane.
All right, this is
against
spicy.
Yasuo.
This is really exciting.
So
This
like
is
I always say, I really enjoy Callista with the tank support. When they work together, it's awesome, and when they don't, it looks terrible, and it's still funny to watch. So that's going to be fun to watch. I think I blue side really nice draft for them. Like they've got a lot of knockup for Yasuo. Mundus got his Camille, is really good on that. Zach, like you mentioned, really strong jungler. But red side does have, when Vayne ramps up, she can be just a destructive force that nobody is able to get on her. They do have quite a lot of peel between Sejuani and Leona. The engage of between Jarvan and Sejuani can be big. This looks like a really fun game.
Yeah, so it's really great to see a brand pick on a comp that wants to go against a comp that wants to go forward, because brand just like, come at me, let me ult everyone. Even if I die, if I just press alt, especially a mid brand, that's a lot of damage that's gonna come out. Of course, brand could do more damage if he stays alive, but that's just a lot of easy secure damage unless a wind wall is able to stop it or Tarek times his ult well. But Tarek would have to ult before the engagement, before brand ult comes out, because all that burn damage and the popping and stuff like that is going to happen. I think before Tarek's ult would hit if he just did it reactively rather than preemptively. But we'll see. I might be wrong about that one.
No, you're right. Brand ult to start a fight really gets you off on the right foot. And red or blue side's really going to have to watch out for that. I will say Ashley Lee was able to get her Leona this game. Is very strong on that champion. So this bot lane, I think, is going to be fun to watch. Every matchup on the map looks like a lot of fun to me. I'm looking forward to this game a lot. Neither team drafted badly at all. A lot of synergy on both teams.
The one worry that I do have is we do have pretty much an all AD comp on the left side. So, and if we have at least 2 tanks on the right side, maybe Jarvan will be building tank. He's going against a Camille, so I expect like an early armor item too. So if the game goes late enough, that's going to be a lot of armor to deal with Callista, Yasuo, and Camille. Callista will be building a little bit of shred, so that will help her out. Yasuo won't be. He'll be building crit. Camille will be building like bruiser or a lot of damage. So there's not going to be much to get through the tanks if the game goes long enough. But that being said, you have your damage between Brand and Vayne most likely, maybe a little bit Jarvan, depending on how that laning phase goes and how far ahead or behind he is. But Vayne is super short range. So against a Zac who can come from across the screen, a Camille that can dive you really, really quickly, and a Yasuo that can get onto you very quickly. It's really, really scary. I would hate to be that Vayne. That's a very bold pick. It might work out though.
Well, I would say in team fights, you really have to watch your positioning with the brand, because if Vayne and Brand are close together at all, Zac can just kidnap both of them, right?
Absolutely.
And you're done. So I think their positioning is going to be paramount in these team fights. They're going to have to make sure they stay on the edges of the fight and also in a position where they can be peeled and also not close together. If they're able to do that, though, the damage they can pump out is going to be crazy.
Yeah, it should be really exciting.
Like you mentioned, with all AD on blue side, if red team is able to counteract that with enough armor, they don't have to couch that with any MR magic, right? So they do have the potential to pump out more damage because of that.
They gave Mundus Camille. That's
I know.
Baby. That's
really excited. I said that immediately. I said I hope Mundus gets Camille. He did, and I'm really excited.
He actually DM'd me after he said when they give you over Camille to you, feels good, man.
maybe Clarken knows. Maybe it was a bait.
Maybe it's a bait. It might be. It could be a bait.
He messaged me as really excited about getting Camille. So I'm looking forward to watching.
Oh, but I think it's game over. We have skin synergy in the bot lane with 2 project skins, so my money is now on red team.
No.
Sorry, Camille.
I don't know, dude.
Not worth.
The Ares Spirit Yasuo is pretty OP.
But no synergy. It's just no synergy.
Once you see the Camille, dude, you'll understand. It all makes sense.
Dude, no. Both teams look pretty scary in their own way, so I'm really excited.
I see some comfort picks. So
Are you gonna be shoutcasting this one with us?
I'll watch it with you guys. I'm not in the. I'll watch it from just like adding some like
Sure,
after
sure.
points.
Sounds good. Oh, my direct.
Clarken P-boy. Oh my god.
I know, right? The Blessed Playboy was just a little too long, so I needed a CPB. Clarken P Boys.
Harkins P-Boys.
There you go.
Okay. Both teams looking like they maybe will go in. No, not this time.
How far behind am
Both
I?
teams
Is there
stacking up.
is there a lag to your stream?
Yes, there is always a lag. You can just right click on the client and spectate one of their games. Then you'll be in at the same time with us. And then you can jump out when like teams get done or whatever, depending on who gets
Looks
done
like
first.
second game in a row with no 5-man invade.
Blame. How do I get the scoreboard to stay up? Anyone know?
Who are these guys?
It's O, I think.
Okay, perfect. I'll keep that up for now.
Does it stay up or no?
Yeah, it stays up. You're right. Thank you. So we have one stopwatch on Brand. It will take 10 minutes to actually activate. So at level 6, he will not have it against the Yasuo. Unless Brand
I'm
gets
interested-
super behind and his level 6 is delayed till 10 minutes, which would be absolutely sad.
I'm not sure
In
how I
that
feel
case,
about
stopwatch will not be enough to help him.
the TP on Yasuo. Feels a little much. I don't. Unless they're gonna be making
Ooh.
like cross map plays the entire time. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. You should be
Double.
trying to kill Brandon lane early so we can get a lead.
Yeah, I agree with that. And if he was scared of the Brand, then he just gets like something defensive. So yeah, that one's a little weird. So already a little bit of harass onto Clarken, onto that Jarvan by the Camille. We'll see how that matchup goes. The standard start with leashes on the bot lane, both junglers starting it on the bot side. Yeah, and I'm trying to see, I don't think there's any weird keystones or anything like that either.
Really interesting that Zach decided to go Raptors because that's probably one of the worst camps to do early game on Zach because of how much damage he takes early. You should always do it after first back on second clear rather than first clear. His
Yeah.
wolves are just so much faster.
Yeah, there's a few champions like a Mumu can do it because of his Tantrum reset. But yeah, Raptors they do a lot of damage. They do a lot of damage.
Especially because they've
Ooh!
a couple patches ago when they lowered the base armor on Zach. It makes it very hard
Ignite
to keep a healthy
And
clear.
a really nice
first blood.
lead by Red Team to get first blood. Good job by Ashley and Vayne taking advantage of reaching level 2 first.
Yeah, it was really smart. The Ignite went down before the heal. So the heal was reduced by Callista's heal was reduced and pretty much was her downfall from that one. Otherwise, she probably would have survived that. I don't know.
Leona, one of the strongest level 2s in the game. Great job.
Absolutely.
And here comes the
level
Camille going
3
in on the
engage.
Jarvan.
Oh yeah.
As soon as he
damage.
gets level 3,
Actually,
sees the
I don't
Sejuani coming
know how I
back
feel
off.
about Sejuani coming top right now because Camille can probably honestly 1v2 at this point.
Yeah, that's terrifying. With a big wave as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Clarken, you gotta respect that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Oh, the
that's-
stun
that might be-
hits! But he gets away.
Getting double backs by bot lane, red side bot lane.
And Zach is hovering around the mid lane. Don't know if something's gonna happen there. I'll be curious to see how aggressive Camille will go under the turret.
Here we go, going in on the Brand. Hits the pump, and there's the tornado, and Yasuo picks up a kill just what he needs early.
Yeah, that flash was negated, Brand's flash, because Zach was able to get the Q onto Brand and then auto a minion. Brand was right next to him, so that's a really unfortunate waste of a flash there.
Yeah.
Or loss of a flash,
That's one
maybe?
of those cases where where in hindsight you should have just flashed as soon as the Zach was coming in.
Mhm. Yeah, keep an eye on those shadows when he comes in. So yeah, you know what? Yasuo got teleport because the mad disrespect. He's like, I don't need it to kill Brand. See how that goes, though.
Good early gank by Zach.
Yeah, very early.
You do want that lead on Yasuo. He needs it to withstand because he's going against a lot of poke with Brand.
Yeah, this will be interesting.
So we may have another engage here bot lane, or at least setting up for it.
Yeah, directed camera. Are you predicting the future? Nope. At least not yet.
Doing a good job trying to zone them off though with that Leona.
So Jarvan is actually ahead on CS, which I'm actually surprised about. Well played by Clarken on that.
Yeah,
He
Camille
does-
is focused a lot on poking him out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? That might be wrong. They're pretty close. It might have just been like the timing of the waves and the time I looked at the scoreboard actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yasuo's winning the lane with a kill and a lot of CS, almost double the CS. And Vayne is actually out farming as well in the bot lane, so well played by Teaser. Uh oh, here comes the Zac repeat gank.
Another Zac repeat gank.
Oh,
No flash
no.
to get away this time. This is almost a guaranteed kill for the Yasuo.
That is painful. Really, really painful.
Yeah, if you don't have your flash up for Zac ult, it is, and you're a immobile mage, you are just about just dead meat waiting.
Yeah, at this time you concede the lane. You're so far behind now. You concede the lane and farm with a turret. You kind of hope that they overdive you and you can outplay, get like a 1-for-1, maybe a 1-for-2.
Right.
But yeah, I mean he didn't even have his wards out. He had his trinket off cooldown too.
Here comes the engage from Leona. They're going in again. Oh, and at the same time the engage top. But the Jarvan ult is up, traps him under tower, but they're able to get out and chase him. Kill.
Yeah, nice try by Jarvan. He almost was able to get some return kills there, but did the best he could. I don't think he could have done anything else except not been at the turret. And he goes down with a nice roam by Yasuo.
Yeah, great 3-man dive.
Yeah, really well coordinated. This the Shaken Blake looking very, very good as they did win their first game. Looking like they might be one of the strong teams. Ooh. Nice
I like the
trade by
team
Clarken.
play out of blue team right now,
Yeah.
especially with the Zac ganks and coordination, and then after they get the lead mid lane, they can bring it up top lane. That was very well played.
Yep. This is exactly how you don't get to complain when you win lane and you lose game if you're not moving your lead elsewhere.
Yeah.
Well, one thing, Rhino, or you notice how they got the flash out of Brand. They might not have even been going for a kill there, but they got it anyway. But they're probably just trying to force the flash out. Once they forced the flash out, they knew they had that advantage and immediately came back for another game. And like you said, pushed that advantage immediately up top. So great rotations there.
Yeah. Seeing a lot of
I
action
agree.
in the bot lane still, which is exciting. No kills, or I don't think any summoners were burned. Still gonna be spicy. We do have a level 6 advantage, but Zac is on bot side. Yasuo's looking for it too. Sejuani is nowhere near, so they need to be
Yeah, this
careful.
could be,
They see
could be
Sejuani on that
bad.
ward right on top lane. They know she can't get to the fight. This is a free gank.
Yep.
Oh, flash out.
Ooh, nice
Slow. Oh, nice.
Good slow, got him under tower.
Good heal.
They're not gonna go for it. Oh, he's
Oh.
tanking.
Ooh, that's
You know, if they're gonna use that, they should have died. I think they should have dived with it.
yeah. That was a panic ult by Tarek. That was just kind of just a misplay. I think you do have to be proactive about that ult and kind of just understanding what's gonna happen in the next 3 seconds or 5 seconds.
Really
And
good
that was
escape
like,
by
what was that?
Good escape by Leona and Vade.
Yeah.
They able to get out of that. But
They
that
should have
does
died.
give over the Mountain Drake to blue side.
Yeah, perhaps maybe miscommunication for bot side
Oh,
about
There
summoners.
you go. There's a challenge here. Brand is
Brand
level
does
6.
have his ult up, so this could be a
Oh,
big
there it
hit.
is.
The dragon
No
hit.
Zac
There it
passive either.
is. Leona goes in,
Oh, but a teleport.
and Brand comes out with 3 kills, including the dragon.
Callista indefinitely gave way too much pressure too early that fight. That's really unfortunate.
Yee.
She walked away. She walked away after having 20 some stacks on the dragon already, and then left it. If they would have just rushed it down, I'm sure they could have turned, maybe at least traded 1 or 2 for it, but still got the dragon. Instead,
Yeah.
it just turns catastrophic, and they don't get anything for it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You do have that's an important thing to remember on Callista is one of your huge strengths is being able to rend those objectives, and if you can do that, it saves a lot of objectives. Good
Yeah.
point.
But Sejuani pushing into mid lane, so that
That's
perhaps
that
trying to catch some CS on or just cost some CS for Yasuo, but Yasuo's too quick. Still interested to see how they're going to use that TP because I'm pretty sure it hasn't been used yet this game, has it?
Yasuo's TP? No.
Not.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. So especially as a brand, I'm happy when the enemy team is going to take an objective because they'll be grouped up. In addition, unless they're baiting it, Zach won't be doing some crazy dives on you because he's focused on the objective. But in the top lane, oh my
Camille
goodness!
goes in, and Zach joins to get the kill, pull off the kill on Jarvan.
Sejuani's still top clearing. She gets spotted out again by the deep pink ward up by red.
That pink ward just needs taken out. It's one of the best places for a pink ward. It can stay forever.
Who put that ward down?
I've had games where I'm able to get that pink ward down that bush and it stayed up like 30.
It belongs to. Wait, does it not say on the ward?
No, it doesn't. It's
Lame. It could have been Yasuo too, when he did roam up there. It could be
anybody on the top side. Definitely no one's on bot lane.
Yeah. The Tarek with the amazing roam. Oh, Leona ult.
Leona with the another engage.
Good Tarek ult.
Yep.
Tarek ult, great displacement.
They're stalling.
That's that, and then here comes the Callista ult.
They should go for.
Oh, and the Zac ult takes out the brand. That's a kill. Another kill for Yasuo.
The only problem is that you also have to remember you're on a timer when you're playing against Vayne bot lane, especially when she has a 9 CS lead on your laner.
Holy
That's a
moly.
little bit of a problem, but I think 20 CS lead. 20 CS now.
Yeah,
But- I don't know. We'll have to see what happens because they're getting everything else across the map, but I'm really interested to see how it's gonna fall on how Vayne plays out the team fights later
Zach's
on. too.
bot again. No
Zach
ult
is
for
coming
bot
in
lane.
here.
Too far up board without any words.
Good setup, and they may not be able to get out this one. No
Nice
flash
condemn.
for bot lane.
I think they
Yeah,
get out.
do get out.
Zach have ult there.
Oh, teleport.
Oh, and Jarvan pulls out the ult. Get a
Camille?
kill.
Oh, Yasuo? That's Yasuo.
Yasuo teleport
Oh,
bot lane.
cancels.
Yasuo
Yasuo
teleport.
cancels teleport.
Smart cancel.
Probably a good cancel. He was ended up between 3 of them in a triangle.
Oh, Sejuani here with the ult.
Bonnie's here. This is the ult, but Jarvan puts the knock up on them.
Stun.
Vayne,
Yasuo's
not able
coming.
to- They're able to kill Tarek.
Yasuo's here.
No Vayne here though.
Vayne's
she's
concentrating on getting first turret.
I mean, Camille
It's a race.
Camille racing for them for first turret. Let's see. Camille's not hitting it hard enough.
Oh, re-engage.
The re-engage is on, and they're able to pick up another kill on Yasuo.
Oh my goodness.
What happened, guys?
Yeah.
Miscommunications bot lane. It seems like.
Yeah, a little
thought
bit
they could-
messy.
I think
again, like
I
Yasuo doesn't
think
have a crit item yet, so he's really missing a lot of his strength right now.
Yeah, he's supposed to start with a Zeal. Or, I mean, okay, so he got Hex Trigger. That's fine. But you go Zeal, not BF, right?
Well, you can go BF first if you want to still auto trade in lane, but after that you should be finishing a Zeal item before you finish, or you should just go ahead and try and finish the IE if you have enough gold for it. It depends on your back number, but I don't think buying a pickaxe after you buy a BF sword is actually worthwhile there.
Jarvan there
if you think
mistimed
about
his
it,
mana a
they're-
little there.
like you're right, like his strength would be in lane, right? Like you're saying with the engages. But now that like with lane phase ending so abruptly with that, I don't think they were expecting it to end that scene. And that just brought that huge team fight. Kind of brings an end to lane phase, and now he's gonna have to adjust.
Yeah, he's gonna have to just farm up a little bit more before he can probably fight, join a team fight unless they find something really, really favorable. But they've given up a lot of kills. Unfortunately, Vayne only has 4 assists, but that's still damage. That's still gold. Nice
Oh
ult.
god.
Pulls up the ult, Tarek ult, dive
Go,
the
keep
tower.
diving, keep diving,
Really?
keep diving. Nice.
And
Oh,
that was a great use of the Tarek
Oh
ult.
my gosh, the damage. Woo!
Wow, that brand ult damage is just crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
balanced, right?
really, really
Still
great
still
Tarek
a
ult
really
though.
good dive. Still a really good Tarek pull off that dive though. I think that's what they were trying. He meant to do bot lane on that dive that we were talking about earlier.
Did they get sums out of Vayne there? Yeah, they got flash and heal out of Vayne
Yeah, they
too, so
did.
they can just repeat it over and over again as soon as that's off cooldown.
Yeah, Vayne almost lasted long enough. She stalled out, lived for a
So
while.
Camille's
Gank. Nice
Brand's
stopwatch,
got his
actually.
stopwatch. Good job.
Stun.
and the damage comes out, everyone gets flamed, but everyone gets out.
They see Clark on the bot side, so then Camille's gonna have to react accordingly. She's looking to try and see if she can get a good
So we have a
engage on the
fire
side.
drake up now, so
Ooh,
this could be
spicy.
an objective that all teams are going to be collapsing on.
Also, it's worthwhile to note the defensive vision. It'll be a good insight to how the player's mentality is right now, because they have a lot of defensive wards on the red side rather than with using any of them. Oh, that was close.
Wait,
That was
miscommunication.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I think I don't think they realized Zach was gonna try to fly by steal rather than just jump in and steal. Zach can do that, try to fly by it, and Tarek goes in and unfortunately dies.
Mistake it for an engage.
Yeah.
So it looks like they've got the manpower to take down the mid tower. Jarvan brings out the ult to pull out the kill. Yeah, so good job.
Yeah, the team fight is just really, really coordinated on red team. I think we've seen some really good skirmishes by blue team, but when it comes to 5v5 or just like a little more than 3 players, red team's doing really, really well.
I think it's also clear and experience.
Zach pulls off the canal, keeps people under the tower. Maybe able to take
Brand
out
damage though.
Lonnie. Good job.
Ooh, Brand. Yeah, Brand doing a lot of damage, just not enough.
Bot lane's really low now. They're gonna have to see what they can do with it.
Neil. Ooh, nice knockup.
Really looking
There's some Neil. Terradont doesn't quite
way
go down.
too late.
Now it lands, but they're outmanned and outgunned right there.
Just red team is just on the same page when they're just happily letting blue team just dive into them, while blue team is kind of seems a little not coordinated or not communicating about what their intentions are at the right time. Because again, with that Tarek ult, you need to be on point with that. Like, it was a decent Tarek ult, but if he knew Camille was gonna go in, he should have done it like right when she dashed in.
Right. Big
There was
difference
also a little
for-
bit of hesitation when Camille didn't get the ultimate, because she did have her
Yeah.
ult up. She could have deleted Vayne really early on to that, and then perhaps could have turned it with still the duration of the Tarek ultimate. But
Yeah,
like you said, it just feels like they're on a different page. I feel like there's a clear disconnect between ADC and support with the whole top side and mid of the map.
On the other side of the page, big difference this game for red side. You remember saying we watched last game, they didn't seem nearly on the same page. This game, it's the exact opposite. They're so well coordinated this game between Leona's engages, the Brand ults, and Jarvan's ult.
So question here. I see Leona building Locket, pretty standard. We don't have really AP threats on.
Oh,
Blue
Jarvan
team.
comes in with the ult and
God.
assassinates the Kalista.
How do we feel about that Locket purchase or the Aegis purchase?
On Leona?
sure.
Yeah.
I like it honestly. It's like
Are you
Is there a little-
asking in this case or altogether?
In this case, against an all
I
AD
mean-
team, pretty much.
It'll keep if you. I guess the way you can win this game, right, is
No,
if you keep
they're gonna
somebody
take out
Brand
Brandon.
or Vayne alive enough. It should work out really well. Oh, nice pick again.
Yeah, Brandon team fight. It's such a contrast. When he's in the team fight, he just lets his all fly and he puts him off on a good
Ooh, nice dodge.
good first step. And then, but when he's caught out by himself, he's just an easy kill. for Blue Team.
But I guess you're not really
Jarvan
taking.
is going to town on Yasuo.
Oh,
Takes him down.
that's not a good sign.
He has. I mean, that's the case of Ninja Tabby versus somebody that doesn't exactly have a lot of crit left.
Oh,
Oh, popped too early.
we saw that yet. We saw that in the
Heal?
LCS yesterday too. Actually,
Oh yeah, in the Baron pit. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was crazy.
I didn't know
Oh,
that
man.
happened actually until I saw that yesterday, and we see it
I
today.
had never seen that happen before. That was
What, popping the Zac ult too early?
Yeah, I never seen someone just pop in place like until yesterday, and then I saw it, and then we saw it yesterday, and then now today. I just think that's funny. So yeah, but you're not taking advantage of that MR from the Locket, so I'm wondering, like, yes, the shield is really nice to negate that burst damage, but I feel like maybe there's something better to build, especially as support where your money is really, really important against an all AD
Yeah, but-
comp.
But you guys have pointed out, like, the dive potential on Devane is so
Yeah.
huge. Like,
I think the
like,
survivability outweighs
you need
that.
her. You need her to like have that shield when if they hit that engage with Zac or a
Yeah.
tornado by Yasuo. You know.
What about Night
Yeah.
Chow?
Well, I think the survivability, just because if you can block most of the burst from Camille, then you can in turn go and kill her afterwards.
That's
So
fair.
I think it's pretty fair. I mean, yeah, you're not getting as many combat stats as you'd like, but I mean, I don't like, even if I buy Locket in a full AD team, I still think if it's to keep somebody alive when you have somebody that's a heavy diver or team comp, like a Locket in this case can just completely negate Yasuo ultimate.
Yeah. So Zach comes in, but
Cancel.
he's gonna try and chase him off the tower.
Dude, Clarken is doing really well in blocking a lot of engages. The last game when he was playing Poppy, he was blocking a lot of engages, and even with Jarvan, which I think is a bit harder because you have to EQ, he just stopped the Zac engage there too in midair.
Well, last game he was at such a disadvantage over Trundle, right? Because every time he would block an engage, Trundle would ult him, and then he's caught out.
Mhm.
I think a misclick on the ultimate for Zac there.
He held it down the whole time though that time.
Just
That's
also
the start.
something
start.
important to note. I think that there might be a little bit of lack of knowledge on champion for Kalista. Just because multiple times I've seen it's actually almost a waste of ult to use J4 ultimate on Kalista because she can just Q hop out with her passive. So I'm curious to know if actually Virtuoso
Is that those? Yeah.
weird
Okay.
move.
I actually was wondering that so she can't use that to get through terrain.
Yeah, well, yeah, if it's short enough, and because of how short or I should say
How thin
how
the wall
thin
is.
the wall is for J4, she can hop over it with her autos and her Q.
I didn't
Uh-oh.
hear that.
Oh, nice
But here
catch.
comes the ult down and Camille. Camille's able to flash out though.
Yeah. Trading an ult for a flash is always worth. Pretty much.
Jarvan is just using his Cataclysm almost on command
Yeah.
to take out either some of
Ooh,
his spells
that.
or objectives. But Camille ult comes down. He's isolated.
Oh, that
Randolph into the middle, and he
Too
plays
late again.
Yeah, so they're able to take out Camille as well. And now Blue Team is on the run.
Okay, so like even like right here, you see there's very hard time trying to kite away on Kalista.
Yeah, red team is breaking the.
Transition right there.
Yeah, I thought actually Clarken was a little too aggressive there, but he had his team's back. Everyone followed up and just destroyed. I think Sejuani got a good ult on the whole team. Brand got that ult in while that Sejuani ult was going too. And yeah, that's just super
Well,
disruptive.
there's the difference, right? Like he's like, remember when we were watching Jarvan the J4 last game? Not nearly as much survivability. Clarken knows he's going to be going in trying to initiate fights in the middle of them. He's got a lot of HP between his Jarms or his Sterix gauge and his Black Cleaver.
Yeah.
Plus he's got the brutality
problem with
against
that-
the full AD team almost, and he's
Yeah.
able to last through a lot of that burst damage, initial burst damage.
The problem with that last fight, I think, wasn't so much so the over engage, but the lack of vision from the blue team. If you were to change your fog of ward and look at what the blue team has,
Yeah.
that last fight they couldn't see mid lane. They had no wards. They had all the wards on the red side jungle, but nothing from mid lane, which is where red team engaged from.
They came right
So
behind that Raptors pit.
And so I think the bot lane, with that lack of information on the blue side, had a really hard time trying to come into the fight because they didn't know. It was just again like the 5-man push.
Engage, and they're going to want to pick off that Vayne, but she was able to flash out, and now it's blue team that's on the back foot as they lose 2 members again. With
Yeah, they can't
Camille
afford to
and
fight right now.
Barrett. Getting chased down. Jarvan's going to go for that Zac. His passive is down.
Oh my god.
Whoa!
Damage.
Take out the Kalista as well.
Quadra?
G4 going to
Where
town.
is it? Come on, Yasuo. Come here. Oh, with the Baron buff, just quick
So
push.
hard for Yasuo to save this fight there.
Oh, Brandon's
Yeah, the
here too
late
now.
zeal.
That might. I don't think that's game. That
I
time is
don't
a
think
bit
it's
short.
going to be game, but they may be
Unless
able
they
to
go
take
one
down Nexus turret.
one by one.
They don't have minions, so the turret's taking a lot less damage. Yas hits the ult, but Jarvan's just so tanky
Oh
right
my
now.
god!
Takes it all, turns it around, pops the Sterix gauge.
Oh, they delay it. Blue team does delay the end of the game.
At the cost of Yasuo's.
Worth.
The really big issues here, I think, are the blue team's itemization as well as their sort of inability to recognize some of the things they can do or the capabilities of their champions, I guess. Is the best way to put it.
Well, also, the red team's taken away a big strength by Camille has not been able to split push as much as you would hope with Camille.
You're right.
So without being able to do that, they haven't been able to pull the map apart. And in these team fights, red team is taking full advantage of the CC with the brand ultimate and Jarvan's Cataclysm to just smash in those team fights. Also, I think you guys pointed out that the fact that not having any AP, that kind of hurts them as well. You're seeing a lot of, quite a few Ninja Tabbies on the red side. Keep them alive. Ninja Tabby's so good against the full AD team.
Uh-oh. Jarvan.
Also, another thing to notice, I think, too, is the the wave control out of blue team is sort of lackluster. They're sort of just like perma pushing the wave and not realizing that it's going to bounce back into them for their top and bot even when inhib's down.
Yeah, good point. Wave control is so important in these games, especially if you're trying to pull apart a really good team fighting
They both
team.
have vision of each other and they're waiting in the bush to see what the other one does.
But the massive engage. Oh, they're able to cut off the Leona engage.
Nice ult! Nice ult!
Yasuo catches everybody. Brain is still up though. Tosses in the ult, takes everybody low.
No, Brandol gets negated.
Oh, this is gonna be a big Ren, but she's not quite able to pull the spears out.
I think that's the game right there.
And red team comes out on top of that fight.
Yeah.
Killing people close to dying, but they
Super's
can
pushing
finish
in
him
mid
off.
lane. They can clear out bot lane. I think this might be the end, and this might seal the deal, boys.
Yeah, I think that was a great team fight for blue to take. Because, I mean, you're just behind. You have to go for a risky play. So it's great.
The only
Unfortunately,
The only
they didn't
problem
have
there
full
was that it
vision.
looked like they were just out. They were just out itemed, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you had an amazing.
It was a great engage. They had them low, almost won despite the item disadvantage, and but it just barely short. It's a good win by red team on this game. Real well played.
Unless it's the Camille pentakill, but I don't think so. Nope, that'll be the end of it.
Yeah.
Sir Clarken, the blessed playboy, takes game on Shaken Blake.
Yeah, I think it was interesting that last team fight. I wanted to mention, like, we saw Brandol go into a Yasuo win wall, so that did no damage. You had an amazing Yasuo and Zac ult together, a really strong pick as well, but still not enough because they're just way so far behind. So, who would you guys give MVP for this game?
I feel like I have to give it to the Jarvan. His engages were on point. His build turned out really well. He was tanky. It was hard to take him down, and he put like so many started on the right foot with the with the re-engage that he would do. It was just really well played by the J4.
Yeah, I would also agree. I think J4, like you mentioned, just one, he got big, and the reason why he got big was one, his build, and two, just his choice of fights. He had a rough early game, kind of, but still bounced back, wasn't able to falter, and was able to move around the map and just create big plays and stop big plays from the Zac as well.
Going back to that team fight you were talking about, that last big team fight, that was something like, I think you mentioned the wind wall. Like, so many things went right for Blue that fight. I wish they could have been able to do that more often, because that fight, they seem to all be on the same page with between blocking
really
the brand. You noticed that they were able to. Zac was able to cancel out Leona's engage. That was just such a good team fight for them. I wish they could have pulled that off, because it would have been nice to see if they could continue that synergy that
If
they were
they
able
all
to
had
do,
one more item,
right?
I think they could have done it.
Oh yeah, one
It's
more
also
item.
super important to notice too. I just realized Kalista never finished her tier 2 boot, which is absolutely imperative to her passive.
That's something you can even rush like first if you have just awkward buys, right?
Yeah, you should be either if you can go Berserker Greaves, or if you're still looking for survivability, you can do like Ninja Tabby in this game. I think against Ving would be okay.
That's a really good point. Her mobility is so important to her.
Her jump distance increases, so that's the part that's super important. So like her escapability and ability to kite in all those fights is severely limited if you don't upgrade that tier 2 boot.
So, Rhino, we have a little more time to discuss this game, right? Before the next one start.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So, one thing I want to talk about is how I think we liked blue team's composition, and there was a lot of strength with it. I think red team's comp was great too, but I want to talk about what happened, and where they started losing the game. And I think the big thing is that you have a Zach that's long range engage that takes advantage of just even good vision placement. Like he can still get around all that stuff. And the problem was they weren't able to find those fights set up right. They were kind of finding fights like head to head point blank, and Zach wasn't able to take advantage of that long range. And because of that and the lack of cohesion between the Tarek ult and I think maybe Camille engages and stuff like that, I think that's where it really fell apart, where they kind of weren't setting the pace anymore of the game, and where I think Jarvan was like really pushing the fights instead of blue team being able to set up their fights with the Zach.
Like I said, my biggest gripe with this whole team, I think the team comp's very good, especially if you get early kill pressure with
What they did.
Yasuo and Camille.
Uh-huh.
But the problem is their itemization, I think, was the biggest issue. I mean, for like just a few to look at, you're playing against a mostly AD team comp. You shut down Brand in the mid lane, so you probably don't need an EMR as of right now. So that's completed 2,800 gold on Spear Visage that you probably could have went with either Bramble Vest, even if you just bought the Bramble Vest to sit on for a little bit. But the Ionian Boots of Lucidity, I don't think he really needed the cooldown reduction for that. I think he would have. Zach has a really flexible build path where you can find a lot more of the cooldown reduction later on in the game. But I think that having the ninja tabbies this game was almost imperative with a Vayne that was getting so much gold.
Yep.
And like we already talked about the Callista tier 2 boots early on, but another thing is the Yasuo mid lane needed to have crit much earlier than that. Yasuo was 4-1 at one point, and he ended the game 4-7. And that's not to say that he made any misplays. That's to say that we talked about the one good roam top where he tried to extend the lead into Camille's lane and whatever else, but we saw a lot of failed attempts bot lane. That was the biggest thing, I think, is that bot lane, not so much, I think it was parts of both teams. Red team was able to escape pretty effectively, use their flashes, use their summoners properly, heal further, support, whatever else. But also, I think it's also a noteworthy point to say that there were a lot of mixed engages with, when to use Taric ult, when to dive, when to Zac E and not messing up the ultimate, stuff like that. A lot of tiny mechanical misplays and miscommunications, I think, really hurt blue team's early lead transition into late game.
Yeah. There's.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
One thing I was noticing from fights seemed like, because what I was thinking is, I think we were discussing this at the beginning, is like the potential to get right on top of Vayne, right? With Zac and Camille ults going down, and with the Tarek ult to keep them alive. And if Yasuo can hit it with Tornado, that'd be great to take out that back line between Vayne and Brand. But it seemed like a lot of those fights, for instance, the one they lost around Raptor Pit, a lot of those ults were used on J4 at the start of that fight, and once those ults are down, Vayne and Brand, they're just kind of operating with unity, right? Just in the back line, tossing their ults in the case of Brand and Vayne fighting from front to back, just taking out your tanks. Like I thought, like their skirmish wise, blue played really well, especially early game. But a lot of the times their team fights, their alt usage seemed just a little bit off, and it ended up costing them time and time again.
Yeah. And it's not easy. It takes a lot of communication. I mean, a Callista ult, a Tarek ult, and then figuring that out on like a far diving Camille that's going deep and stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty difficult.
That's definitely one of those games where I think you're right. It's like comes down to communication, because I think communication wise, if you're on point, blue side, if they got their get their abilities and ults coordinated, they have the advantage in team fights. Whereas red side, they didn't need as much coordination, but I mean, with your Brand, hey, I just throw R as soon as Camille hits the engage, and if Jarvan hits the Cataclysm, I'm just throw R inside the pit. Like that's easy to know. You don't need quite as much communication, and they took advantage of those fights.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Cool. All right, so I think we're gonna stop the stream until we start up the next game, which will be coming very shortly.